everyone, it's Carol here at Oakhouse Journals. Big warm welcome as always from me. I've got my prompts here for Margarete Miller's Collage Weekly Planner Project, week number 27 or assignment number 27. And I've got my pieces for my prompts. I've got my background paper that I work on, and my border, as always, has been marked round on my paper or lightweight cardstock. So going through what I've picked out for the prompts. First one, something found in a garage. Well, obviously that's a car or a bike or some form of tools, but in our garage we keep our recycling bins inside the garage, particularly the one for paper and cardboard. So I've lifted out this barcode which was in the recycling bin, and I'm going to be using that on my piece today. Second prompt is an art scrap, so I've got this lovely piece to use. The third prompt is a path or a road. Well, this actually came out of the recycled bin as well. As you can see, it's a returns label to Poetry. They are a clothing company here in the UK, and this is their return address, and it has a road written on it, Loughborough Road. So I'm going to use that in my collage today as that prompt, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of it or if I'm just going to use that portion of it with the name of the road on it, but I'm certainly going to be using that. So those are those. The next prompt is a flying insect, and I've got one here. I bought Maggie a pair of fly boots recently, and this was the label that was on them, and obviously that hits the bill, being a fly. Next one is a business card. Well, I've got three here. Now, these are not the conventional size for business cards, but they are postcards that double up as business cards. And this one is for the Potting Shed, which is a local flower company near me. There's this one for Steph Mitchell, who does original prints and keepsakes. And then there's this one for an embroidery company. So I thought I would use these. Now I'm thinking I will use these two because this one's a little bit busy, but if what I have in mind for these two doesn't work, then I can revert to using that one. So that's my business card prompt hit. And finally, the bonus, something flat. Well, I've got a faux ticket here, and that's flat, so I thought that would hit the bonus prompt. I was actually thinking that I might use these three layered up in some way. I particularly like the colour of the fly. The background's yellow, as you can see, and there's yellowy tints in here, but also the fly is blue, and obviously we've got blue on here. I'm going to cut out this circle, and I might tuck these in behind, or maybe even trim down my art scrap so that I can use it to almost frame this little label I've got. So I've got one or two ideas and possible options for how to use my pieces today. So the first thing I'm going to do is to take this business card here and cut out the circle, and I'm also going to trim down this so that I've got neater edges around the outside, and try it on my piece as it is without it trimmed down any further, and see whether or not it will work, or whether or not I need to actually trim it down and just use this portion. So I'm going to get on and get that done. So I've cut this out, trimmed this, and I've also trimmed this a little bit, and I think I'm going to trim away the white on either side of this. Now, what I was thinking was I could use this bit and this bit to sort of frame this, something like that. Looks better with the green, next to the greens, I think. That there. Need to have the road showing, or the name of the road showing. So I'm wondering whether I could do something like that. Pull that across even more. Let's take that away, see what that looks like. If I do that, then this is going over the edge slightly, but I'm okay with that. I'm wondering about using the ticket and using that bit of the border to frame the ticket and hide the detail that's there, like something like that. Still got my road showing down there. I'm going to use that. So that's going to make it look too vertical. So let's try using it this way. Something like that, and stagger it off the edge slightly. Seems a shame not to use this. And then I'm wondering where this is going to go. I could have it down here, which is kind of where I want it to go, and the yellows pick up the hint of yellow on there, as I mentioned before. I can't have it there because it hides the road name. I could have it there. Let's just pop that there for a second and have a look. I'm thinking because I've got a hole in that, I might put a brad in it. So I could have something like that. The blues are matching. The yellow is on the greeny bit. And maybe take away that bit off the bottom. Let me just cover that over. Yeah, I'm liking that sort of arrangement, but I've still got to get in this. If I put it, let me take this away. I think if I put it down here, it's going to look too busy, but let's just see what it looks like. Let me just try that. Lift my hands away. No, I'm not liking that at all. It looks too busy. It could go underneath here so that there's just a bit peeping out at the bottom. So let's have a look at that. And of course, everything is going to move. Something like that. That could go there. So you're only just getting a hint of it. That would come up in there like that. And I could have it so that there is just a hint across the top there. I could pull it down, snip a little bit off the bottom here, and then just pull it down so that there is just a hint up at the top there. And I think that might work. I could even have it when I trim across this line, underneath this line here, so that this portion is removed. I could have it so that it just sticks over that, and that would work. Let me just put that back in place. Wonder what that would look like. Quite liking that as well. Instead of using this to frame this piece, whether I could use it to actually frame the whole piece and give me a little bit of a border so that it's not so stark against the white. And I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so I've more or less got an idea. So let me trim this off along the bottom here. That bit there like that. I am going to take a smidgen off the bottom here. The bottom bit is a little bit stained and distressed. So I'm just going to take a portion off there like that. And I know I'm not going to use this top portion, so I might as well take that away and do that. So I'm going to move those to one side. Let's go in with these pieces again. So I was going to have that so that it was just leaving the name and going slightly over this border. Doesn't matter, that's just a guideline for me, but I do need to pull that over slightly. This certainly was in there, wasn't it? And this bit was under here, or underneath the ticket and up, and just sticking out a little bit on this side. This piece I think I'm going to have in here, and again use the lines on the ticket to act as a frame. Now I'm liking that, a little bit too high if I was leaving it as is, but I'm not leaving it as is. I'm going to have a look and see what I can do with this. Now, what I could do with this is I could just tuck it in behind here and have it so that it touches up there, which would give me a little bit of the card to play with somewhere else. I was liking the look of this with this embroidery business card behind and having just a little edge there. But what I actually thought would look better is if I could take it out here and put it on this side and move everything over slightly. And the reason I think that sits better is because it's balancing out the greens on this side. And if I pull this in, then I perhaps can have it running down this edge here. So I'm going to try and do that and see what that looks like. This I could trim down so that there was a gap like this down at this side as well. And then I could have that on there like that. Maybe pull that over slightly. No, I'm not liking that. It's looking too busy with this. Let me pull it up a little, see what that looks like, so that it's just on this label. And that way a lot of it will be hidden by this little art scrap. Now that looks better. I'm not liking this up here, so I would probably get rid of that, but I'm still not happy with it. I'm wondering if I can just use the wording, recycle me, sort of peeping up at the top there. Get rid of the barcode lines completely, pull this back down again and have that on there so that it's something like that. If I get rid of this portion up here, is that I've got writing here, here and here, which would balance out. I've got my green here, here and here, or the paler green. The focal element is going to be the fly, and then it's going to bounce to this area, I think, and then just kind of dissipate into the soft greens. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen with this, the way I've got it now. So I think I'm going to go with that idea. Let me trim off this portion here. Okay, so I've actually chopped quite a bit off the bottom there because I'm not going to use it. And if I do decide that I want to use it, I can always just tuck it underneath there and see how that goes. So this portion, the art scrap, I wanted coming over the edge slightly and coming up to the border on my page. This I wanted to have under here. So let me pop that in there. This is how I've decided I want my piece to look. So I'm going to go in now and glue it all down. But before I do that, I want to put a little brad through that piece there. So I've lifted out some tiny brads. So here we go with my brad in place. I went for a black one to pick up the writing on the label and also the details on the fly itself. So this is my finished assignment or finished collage for this week, and I have to say I like it. It feels nicely balanced to me. I like the 3 places of writing that I've got. I've got my pale greens balanced on either side, this long strip there, and then these 2 pieces here. So that feels quite comfortable to me. I've got my blue in the actual fly image picked up in the business card here, and also the hints of yellow from the background picked up on this side. So yeah, it feels quite nice, although this circle did give me a little bit of a challenge. To go through the prompts very quickly, something found in a garage. Well, that was my barcode here that I salvaged out of our recycling bin that's kept in the garage. An art scrap, well, that's this piece here. A path or a road, well, I went with the name of a road on this tracking label, so that's down the bottom there. A flying insect, well, that's the insect on my label there. A business card, well, I've got this one here in the background and also this one here. And finally something flat, well, I went for my little faux ticket, which is behind this yellow label there. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this one come together, everybody. I have to say I really enjoyed doing this one. It was a nice challenge, not too difficult like some of them are, but I still had a wee bit of a challenge with it. I hope you'll come by and join me next week when I tackle assignment number 28. And until then, have a great week. Hope you get some crafting in, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.